Pues espérame un minuto, ¿no? Sí. Good evening to everyone. Please share so we can start. This is extremely important interview right here. We are at the shelter Agape with Pastor Alberto. As you guys know, my God, Pastor Alberto has encountered so many experiences with migrants and so many experiences with horrible situations that these migrants go through, and also experiences with child trafficking in organizations from activists from the United States. Right here in front of me, this is Aleida. She is from Honduras, and she's going to talk to us about her experience with kidnapping with a cartel and how they're operating from Honduras all the way to the north. This is extremely important for you guys to share. So if you can share it to 1 or 2, 3 groups. Muchas gracias. I'm going to start translating in Spanish to English. Muchas gracias, Aleida, por la entrevista. Quiero que se siente segura, te estoy grabando de aquí por abajo, ¿ok? Sí. Me dices que eres de Honduras.
De Honduras.
¿Y hace cuánto decidieron migrar para Estados Unidos? You're telling me that you're from Honduras. How long ago you decided to migrate to the United States?
Hace 3 meses.
Se cayó. Ya empezó a fallar esta cosa. Must excuse my gimbal, everybody. Está bien, así te estoy grabando aquí. Hace 3 meses. Sí. Hace 3 meses me dices.
3 meses. De allá salimos en mayo y en julio.
Un poquito más fuerte, habla así, por favor.
De allá salí en mayo con mi hijo y en julio llegamos a Texas. Sí.
He's saying that on May, they decided to migrate with her son, and ¿cuándo llegaste a Texas?
En julio llegamos.
In July, they arrived to Texas. ¿Qué fue lo que pasó? ¿Cómo te metiste? ¿Cuál fue el contacto que tuviste? ¿Cómo se desarrolló todo esto? ¿Y cómo fue toda la situación que pasó? How was the situation? How everything this resolved? How did everything this evolved into this horrible situation?
Bueno, lo que pasó, pues más que todo fue la experiencia que vivimos en el camino, en el trayecto de Honduras a México, desde que ahí nos pasó algo horrible. Me secuestraron a mi hijo y a mí y es doloroso lo que vivimos.
¿En dónde te secuestraron?
En Veracruz.
She's saying that it's not about migrating to the United States. What is the most horrible thing is that we got kidnapped. My son and me, we got kidnapped in Veracruz by a cartel. Y los secuestraron. ¿Y qué sucedió después de eso?
Sucedió de que nos raptaron, no sé a qué lugar nos llevaron. Nos llevaron, no sé en qué lugar estábamos. Nos llevaron a una casa. Nos llevaron a una casa los secuestradores. Eran muchos hombres muy armados, bien armados, con sus 2 armas, encapuchados, con gorro negro.
She's saying that they kidnapped us as we were going up. And there was this cartel movement. It was a lot of them. There were a lot of men that they were camouflaged all the way from the head to the feet. Long weapons they were carrying. They took us to a house. I don't know where the house was. ¿Y luego qué pasó?
Luego nos tuvimos ahí, nos tuvieron 9 días ahí en ese lugar donde miramos cosas dolorosas.
They're saying that they put us right there. They kept us right there for 9 days when we saw really horrible things. ¿Qué tipo de cosas vieron?
Ahí golpean ellos todas las personas que secuestran, que son secuestradores. Golpean a los migrantes. Ahí tienen muchos migrantes atados de manos y pies.
She's saying that they have a lot of people kidnapped in that house. This cartel is really violent. they hit people, they torture people, and they have a lot of migrants. They tie their hands and they kneeling down and they torture them. Y luego,
ahí tienen de todo. Hay señoras que tienen tiempo, a lo mejor ahí. Hay jóvenes también. Había el guardaespaldas, es el único que platicó conmigo.
he's saying that there's a lot of people there. It's not only just men. There's women, there's children, there's older people, and the bodyguard was the only one that talked to me. Y luego,
él platicó conmigo y yo le pregunté, yo le dije, ¿por qué haces esto? No, a mí me tienen obligado, tengo 10 años de estar secuestrado aquí.
10 años lo tienen secuestrado,
Sí.
O sea que lo tenían a él obligado a trabajar
Sí,
para
a trabajar para ellos.
So she's saying that the bodyguard that it was talking to her, she was asking the bodyguard, why are you doing this? And the bodyguard said, it's not me. I'm obligated to stay here. I've been kidnapped for 10 years and I've been working for them for 10 years. Y luego,
hay jovencitas también, yo los escuchaba ahí a ellos hablar de eso y platicaban, mira, ya vamos a traer más botellas, más
So
botellas, no sé qué quieren decir
there's a lot of young girls there, menores de edad. A lot of minors. They have a lot of minors there. And, the kidnappers were talking about making a party, bringing drinks, bringing alcohol. Y luego,
nos sacaban a nosotros, a mí, a mi hijo. Ahí hay muchachas, ahí quedaron madres solteras con sus niños. Ahí quedaron, me sacaban a mí, a ellas, y decían, miren lo que les pasa a los que se portan mal. Las que no vienen solas, las que no traen coyote, les toca pagar ellas, dice. Les toca pagar lo que uno les pida. Y las que vienen con coyote, pues el coyote, por eso tienen que viajar con coyote, porque el coyote paga todo.
He's saying that basically they got them all together and they put them outside in the backyard and they told everybody, this is what happens to people that they don't obey. You guys need to buy a coyote. And if you guys are carrying a coyote, the coyote is going to pay for everything. But if you guys don't have a coyote, you guys need to take a coyote from here. So los están obligando básicamente a que tengan un coyote, ¿no? Para poder migrar.
Sí, prácticamente, porque dice que uno solo, uno tiene que hacerse cargo de lo que ellos pidan, del dinero.
¿Cuánto dinero estaban pidiendo?
A mí me pedían $20,000.
She's saying that basically I'm asking her, so they are obligating you to be with a coyote, and she's saying yes, and I asked her how much money they were asking you. ¿Eso es para dejarte ir?
Sí, para
¿Sí?
Sí.
So, what they were asking her to let her go free, it was $20,000. Y luego después de eso, ¿qué pasó?
Después de eso, me dijeron que me sacaron así y dice, venga, miren cómo lo golpean a los jóvenes. Da pesar cómo lo golpean.
Los torturan muy feo.
Muy feo.
¿Qué tipo de tortura le hacen?
Con las manos hacia atrás, les añiden algo para...
¿Los amarran?
Sí, los amarran, pies, manos, y lo golpean.
It's saying that, there's a lot of torture right there. If you don't comply with the rules and the money, to the young kids and the young men, they're torturing them. They tie them up from hands and they hit them until their face is swollen. Y luego después.
Después, ellos lo que hacen de que lo golpean, si ellos quieren, los matan como si nada, como que si fueran ahí mataron a uno, pero era de la banda de ellos, porque fueron a cobrar un dinero. Escuchaba yo ahí quedita, uno de ellos fue a cobrar un dinero y agarró parte de ese dinero. La misma banda agarró uno de ellos, de los que trabajaba para ellos, y por aquello lo mataron. Y ahí alrededor yo miraba por una ventanita, a manera de que en el momento que ellos se descuidaban, y yo miraba, a él ya muerto, le pegaron un balazo en la cabeza, lo tiraron en una fosa, y ahí se ven fosas. Ahí lo tiraron así como las tumbas, pues ahí tienen alrededor hay matas de chato, le digo yo, de mínimo, matas de mínimo.
Uh-huh.
Sí, ahí tienen las fosas al par de las
Ay, Dios mío. So she's basically saying that she witnessed a killing these cartel people killed one of their own because this guy took took some money from them without asking for permission. So she witnessed how they killed him, and on some part of the house, they had a backyard and they had a clandestine barrier where they bury all these people. She's saying that they have a lot of people buried on the backyard. Y luego después de eso, ¿qué te tocó ver más?
Los niños, tienen niños pequeños como posiblemente como de 8 años, quizás así, a 7 años, 8 años.
¿Y qué les hacen a los niños?
Solo 4 niños, mire, los niños, a ellos yo les dije, ellos estaban platicando los niños y yo le dije, vení niño, vení, que estoy platicando, digo, porque mi papá a mí ya me está enseñando, como que los agarran tiernos, me dijo él, el muchacho que habló conmigo, que
sí.
me está contando, porque yo le caí bien, me dijo, los agarran tiernos y los entrenan para ellos, para que ya grandes trabajen para ellos.
She's basically saying that she was witness of 4 children and 4 children minors, and you know, she talked to them. She said like, hey, you know, come here, I want to talk to you. And what they're doing is a militia. They're training them since they are really young kids, as they're really young childs. So they, and you know, in the far long time, and they can work for them. Y luego,
yo vine y le pregunté, ¿por qué tocas eso? Esa arma no la puedes tocar. Yo toco pistola ya, dice, ya estoy aprendiendo, dice los inocentes niños.
Oh, so she's saying that she asked her, why are you touching guns? And the kid was saying, oh, I'm right now, I'm trained to touch guns. Y después de ahí, ¿cómo fue la manera en que ya decidieron sacarte de ahí? ¿Cómo saliste tú de ahí?
Yo salí de ahí porque el guardaespaldas que me cuidaba a mí ahí en la puerta, el guardaespaldas me dijo, tú me caes bien, pero no te voy a ayudar a salir, me dice. Pero mira, yo diré, me dice, que te has escapado. Y me fue a botar a un lugar en Tabasco.
¿No más tú?
Con mi hijo.
She's asking her, how do you got out? How do you got away from these people? And she's saying that the bodyguard was really nice to her, and the bodyguard was saying, you know what, I really like you. I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna pretend that you escaped. So the bodyguard took her to another place that is in Tabasco. It's another city close to Veracruz. Y después,
allá me fue a dejar a una calle y yo esperé un bus. Él me dijo, mira, me dice, por aquí pasan buses, vas a agarrar cualquier bus. Vas a agarrar cualquier bus, me dijo el muchacho que tienen obligado trabajando para ellos. Lo tienen secuestrado prácticamente. Y me dice, agarras aquí, vas a quedar. Pero cuando yo quedé sola ahí, me llené de temor y yo dije, me alcanza.
Está bien, relájate. ¿Estás bien? She's crying, everyone. Let me hold on a second to see if she wants to continue with the interview. And if she wants to continue with the interview and keep talking. She's saying that basically they led her at a random place, and she was running scared with her son to think that she was going to get reach, and they were going to kill her and her son. ¿Estás bien?
Cuando platico esos temas me acuerdo.
No, sí te entiendo, pues es una experiencia horrible. ¿Gusta seguir? No, ya no gusta seguir. She doesn't want to continue, everyone. She's that's too much of experience that she's talking. Let me see if she can relax for a little bit. Lo más importante fue que de ahí de Tabasco, ¿a dónde te fuiste?
A Tabasco. Me bajé donde se bajaron unas señoras que venían en el bus y le pedí ayuda a una señora, pero no le dije nada de lo que me pasaba. Solo le dije que quería seguir hacia adelante.
She's saying that from Tabasco, she got robbed. She was asking for a ride in a bus, and she got out of that city. Cuando te moviste de Tabasco, ¿a dónde te movieron? ¿A dónde te fuiste? ¿Cómo le hiciste? From Tabasco, where did you go?
Cuando me moví, agarré un autobús en una terminal que se llama Cárdenas.
Un poquito más fuerte.
Me fui a una terminal, la señora me dijo que agarrara a terminal a Cárdenas.
She's saying that she went to a terminal of buses named Cárdenas. Y después de ahí,
Continué para allá.
Michoacán, ¿no?
Continué.
Sí. Lázaro Cárdenas, that is in Michoacán. And then you continue, and she continued her journey to a Texas. Llegaste hasta Texas.
Sí, hasta allá.
And she arrived in Texas. Cuando llegaste a Texas, ¿qué hiciste? When you arrived to Texas, what do you do?
Me entregué a la migración.
I surrendered myself to immigration. Y después de ahí,
Ahí me tuvieron presa.
they took.
Migración americana.
Okay. ¿Cuántos días estuviste ahí?
Ahí me tuvieron 2 días.
I stayed there in immigration, y después te deportaron, ¿no? Te
Sí,
sacaron.
me mandaron a San Diego.
And they deport me all the way to San Diego.
A San Diego me llevaron en cañada, que me iban a casa hogar para que me iban a familiar. Para que nos llevaban para San Diego, presa, para mandarnos aquí, a Tijuana. Sí, pero ellos, la migra americana, no me escucharon, yo les dije.
American immigration, they didn't hear me. I told them about Mexican immigration. Mexican immigration, I told them my story and they didn't listen.
Les dije yo, me secuestraron, no tenemos nada que ver. Somos la federal y no tenemos que ver.
They responded, we don't have nothing to do with that. We are federal agents. We don't have nothing to do with that. Y luego después te viniste para acá con el pastor.
Sí, fue una suerte de que no hallábamos. Venía traumada yo enfermándole la cabeza a las compañeras porque nos mandaron un buen grupo para acá y el trauma y vienen las compañeras y nos decían, yo conozco una casa donde pueden ir, y yo les decía a las compañeras, no, y no se vayan porque los señores no se ven, no se ven de confianza, les decía yo, y todas me venían siguiendo y les digo yo, no, allá tampoco, no se puede ir para allá, les decía yo, no se pueden ir para allá porque
she basically, people, she got really traumatized about moving around. That Tijuana is known to be a really violent and delinquent city, also known for kidnappings of not only people, children. And she met with Pastor Alberto. Conociste a Pastor Alberto y el pastor te trajo para acá.
Sí, el pastor, miré un policía, creo que era en el puente ahí en San Diego, ahí. Y le dije yo, no conocen un Alberto por acá, le dije yo al policía. Y lo miraba así, me dice, hay muchos, me dice, pero allá hay hermanos que los pueden ayudar. De ahí nos encontramos con el pastor.
Y él te trajo para acá.
Y le agradezco.
And she said she met with the pastor, and the pastor Alberto, she's really appreciated of bringing her over here. ¿Qué es lo que ha pasado con la autoridad mexicana? ¿Ha sido denunciar? What has happened with the Mexican authorities? Have you gone over there and tell them what happened? ¿Qué es lo que ha pasado? ¿Ha sido a denunciar? ¿Ha sido decirle, sabes qué? Mira, esto es lo que me hicieron, mira, esto es lo que está pasando, y hagan algo al respecto?
Sí, me dicen, te pasas, fui ayer ¿cómo se llama?
Fiscalía.
A la fiscalía y me dicen, no, eso no es con nosotros. Entonces, dije yo, o sea, entonces, ¿para qué están? Es la ley, dije yo, ¿verdad? De ahí fuimos a otro lugar y ahí me atendieron bien.
Oh, she's saying that she went to the Mexican authorities. They're saying that is not their responsibility. And then after that, she went to federal human rights, and then they treat her well, and they took her as a witness. Una preguntita antes, porque ya sé que es muy fuerte esto para ti. One last question, because I know that this is real strong for you. ¿Qué mensaje le mandas tú a la gente de Honduras? que referente a la situación migratoria, porque no es como la cuentan y no es como lo dicen.
Sí.
¿Y qué mensaje le mandas tú a la gente de Honduras? What message do you, for last question, because I know that it's really strong for you to talk about this, what message do you send to your Honduras people? Because it is a lie. It is a lie that is real easy, and it is a lie that they're accepting, immigrants in the United States. ¿Qué mensaje le mandas?
Yo les digo a los hermanos hondureños y de los demás países de que uno siempre la confianza en Dios, ¿verdad? Uno lo hace ser positivo. Pero sí, yo les digo, en el camino se sufre y es muy peligroso. Es muy peligroso y entonces uno tiene que eh, tiene que hacer lo posible, ¿verdad? Por si el que puede, pues que solicite su visa, aunque yo sé de que en nuestro país es difícil. Es difícil, siempre le niegan los derechos a uno.
Entonces tú dices que hagan las cosas correctamente.
Sí, que hagan las cosas
She's saying that, the message to the Honduras people, do things correctly, do things right, and everything's going to be all right. ¿Tu hijo cómo está? How is
Sí,
your son?
está bien, gracias a Dios.
No, está un poquito traumado. Is he traumatized?
Sí, él tiene el trauma cuando salimos hacia afuera. Él piensa, cuando el pastor nos traía, decía, mamá, ¿para dónde nos llevan? Me decía, ¿para dónde nos llevan, mamá? ¿Quiénes serán? Y, no se preocupe, le digo que todo está bien. Pero si salimos afuera, él siempre queda mirando. Regresemos rápido.
Mm-hmm.
Pero no le gusta.
They're saying that basically, her son, he is really traumatized, and when they stepped outside, his son is always asking for her mom, like he's right here right now. He's right here entering the room. He gets really worried about her mom, and immediately her son starts to question. Muchas gracias. Te quiero dar las gracias por esta entrevista. Ya no te voy a preguntar más porque sé que te estás poniendo un poquito más ya nerviosa y en tu momento. Pero muchas gracias por este momento. Te lo agradezco mucho y fue un gusto conocerte, que eres una mujer muy valiente.
Ya estaba preguntando, Pastor, ¿dónde está mi mami?
I'm just telling her, thank you for the interview. I'm not going to show, voy a mostrar el teléfono abajo, mira, para que veas, mientras te vas y sales para poder hablar con el pastor. I'm just telling her that I'm going to show the bottom of the floor so she will feel comfortable that I'm not showing her face. And if that experience is, 100% accurate, people, well, wow, what can we say? And let us just talk to the Pastor Alberto right now as... let me flip the camera right now. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News, also for America's Voice. What an experience that is. As we have seen in this particular shelter, we have seen like more than 2 or 3 experiences regarding immigrants that they have paid for a coyote. And this is a reality, people. If we were talking before the car, this is a reality that is happening. Child trafficking and kidnapping of migrants. It is a reality in our country. It is a reality. There's a lot of cartels that are taking advantage of this situation, and they're taking advantage. And the pastor is going to elaborate, pretty much how everything resolves and how everything moves now, because it's a continuous business that is not going to stop, and it's a business that is real easy for them to start. So, Pastor, say hello to Pastor Alberto right here for everybody. Pastor, wow, I'm just surprised. And the most surprising thing is that nothing and nobody's doing anything about it.
Yes, this is actually our second family that we have this problem. We had another family that they had over 150 people kidnapped. And on this case, she was with 48 people that she got kidnapped with. And they were also, when they took her somewhere else, there was more people there. The problem is that Mexican law states that kidnapping, you could only report it in that state. You cannot report it in a different state.
Oh my God.
So when we went down to the state here to report everything that's happening, and that there's some people that are being held captive still, and the coyotes and everything, what they said is they have to go back to that state where they got kidnapped and file a police report. The problem is that the police state, the state police, and that's same state, are working together with the kidnappers and the coyotes. So let's say they already know that if they go and report to that same state that they're working together, so they could be more in danger. So when we went to the state police, they said, no, you have to go to the federal government, federal state police, file a police report, because it's not a state issue from Baja California. It's a different state. But that the federal government could cover it. We went to the federal government here in Mexico to file the report and give, well, they were giving all the details. And the problem what happened is that the federal police said no, that there is a law that states that everything that has to do with kidnapping needs to be reported in that same state. They call that fuero común. Like who says the governor is the one that's in charge of all kidnapping of each state. So when we went down over there, they did not take it. One of the families said, wait a minute, there's over 150 immigrants that are being held captives, and there's a whole bunch of coyotes and organized crime that are there. They said, I'm sorry, I cannot take your report. She was talking about also that she was worried about the other ones that were being held. So basically what we did, we went to human rights on the state. Human rights of the state, they said that's a federal issue, so we should go to human rights federal. So we went to human rights federal. They took her statement, heard everything that she had to do, to say part of what she had to say on both families. And the first family was kidnapped by Tamaulipas, and this one is Veracruz. Two different cases. On both cases, the federal Human Rights Organization, they took the statement. The federal Human Rights said that they have to take all this case all the way to Mexico City and take advice from Mexico City for them to tell them how they could proceed to file a police report of this kind, because it has something to do with organized crime. According to the immigrants that were kidnapped, they were stopped several times by different state police on their process, and they said that they were kidnapped and that they needed help. But the state police said, you have to talk to your owners, which meant
Oh my
your
God.
owners
The coyotes.
are the coyotes.
Wow.
They're the owners. So they're working
So
together.
owning, so that means that I own you now. That you're a product.
Yeah, so that's a problem. So now, what we're pushing for, and we're asking now, that we need political will from the Senate, from Mexico, and the lower house and the higher house. They need to change the law that anyone that's kidnapped, you could file a police report in any state, or at least with federal police. You could go to the federal police, file a police report, and they could do follow-up in other states. Basically what they're saying is, if you were kidnapped in one state, there's no follow-up. We cannot do no follow-up if you file on this state. So law needs to be changed, and if the law is being changed, that political will, that they have to vote that and pass it through the Senate in Mexico, the lower house, higher house, and said, okay, from now on you can file a police report on the federal police, and they will do follow-up. So right now, all these immigrants are having that problem. The thing is this, that organized crime already has knowledge that the only place that you could file a police report is in that state. But if organized crime is taking over the state and everything, so they know they will never be investigated, because everybody's frightened to file a police report in that same state where the police themselves are involved. So it's a big big issue that's happening here in Mexico, and it's very hard to describe a solution for this.
It's impossible. The solution, Pastor. It's just the organizations are too powerful.
Well, right now, these two families, Human Rights Federal, talked to the state, and they provided psychiatrists. So now they're taking the psychiatrist, and they're going to get an outcome of whatever the psychiatrist says, so that they could put that on the file with the police report. So Human Rights Federal, they're saying, okay, it's not like she's filing a police report. It's like we're filing the police report on her behalf. Basically, that's what they're doing. But I think maybe this case, I'm not sure if it has to go like Human Rights International. I have no idea what they have to do, but it's a problem that's happening here.
What is the next thing that she is going to do?
Well, first she needs to do the follow-up with the psychiatrist, and then the psychiatrist needs to give an evaluation and say exactly what is the result, what kind of trauma her boy is going through and the family is going through. And from there, they promised her that they were going to file a police report, but right now, since she has to wait for Mexico City to tell Human Rights what's the procedure and where to file the police report. Or if Mexico City is going to handle the case all the way from Mexico City, since legally you cannot file a police report in a different state when you're...
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Pastor, thank you so much.
That's Mexican law.
That's our country. Thank you so much, Pastor. You're always really kind to me, and I see that you're getting a lot of help. And you're right here in your warehouse. How's everything going in your shelter?
Oh, here we're doing fine. We're trying to do our best with the immigrants, and right now a lot of them, they know they have to wait on their time. They have to wait at all that procedure time, sometimes 6 months, 7 months. So some are staying. Some other ones, the UN, they have the UN has a plan, or they're organized, that immigrants like from Honduras and immigrants from Guatemala, if they want to go back to their country, the UN comes here, they file some document and everything, and they give them a free plane ride so that they could go back to their country, but they have to sign that they are not going to go to court in the United States, back to the United States. Like we say, they already have a court date in the U.S., but if the UN gets involved and they want to go back to their country, they sign a document that they're not going to go continue the process in the United States.
So voluntary go back.
Volunteer deportation back to their country. So we're doing that.
Also, I see the buses coming, and the amount is still the same, 1,000 pesos for each person.
Yeah, right now that's what the buses come, and those are especially for people from Guatemala. But now it looks like it's a little bit more stable. Not much people from Central America, they're deporting back here to Mexico. It's not that much movement as it was before. Now everything's starting to get a little bit more settled down.
Bueno, pues muchas gracias, Pastor.
Sure.
Me voy a dar una vuelta caminando y lo dejo aquí que siga con sus lecturas. Okay, thank you so much, Pastor. Let me see right here. My gimbal has a mind of its own, people. There we go. Hold on a second, people. We are moving out. Muchas gracias, Pastor. Ahorita vengo para despedirme. ¿Cómo está la puerta aquí, Pastor? Aquí está. Okay. Hola. So we are moving out, people, right now. Let us walk a little bit right here. My gimbal doesn't work. Wow. For all those people that they're really they're being I don't know. I don't know if there's a word. Everybody has their own right of opinion, and everybody has their own right of expressing how they feel about this crisis that has been overwhelming, not only for my country, but for the United States. But for those people that are being kind of disrespectful, let me address you for a minute. I understand, and I am playing by your side on certain, ideals. That is that if you already know the problems and how difficult it is to migrate, and if you already know that it's impossible to migrate, and if you already know that you go through this kind of things that this immigrant is saying, that a lot of you believe and a lot of you don't believe. But if you already know that, why are you migrating? Why are you doing that? That's the thing. That's the number one thing. That is the thing that is really upsetting. But the number one thing, as we've been talking about for the past months, this is the fault of every country's government. They don't explain to them. They don't tell them. They are coached to just come on a limb with no protection. They are coached to be just migrating to another country without knowing what is going to happen on the future. That is basically impossible to migrate to the United States. Not only that, the government of Honduras, of Guatemala, of El Salvador, they're not telling their people about how impossible it is to migrate to the United States. They're not telling them that all the problems and all the troubles and all the insecurities in life is a life and death situation like this one, if it is real or not. They're not telling them how dangerous it is. It is the fault of their own government, of the government of Honduras, of a government of Guatemala, of a government of Salvador, of our Mexican government. It's our fault. It's not everybody else's fault. It's our fault, of the government of Mexico. I consider myself a really hardcore Mexican. I love my country. But this is the fault of our government. Our government has been playing all this time, and they haven't been doing their job. Doing their job like what? Inspectioning people, screening people correctly when they're coming in. Creating a route, if they're going to migrate correctly, creating a route that is secure for everybody. So third parties will not be involved, like cartels, human traffickers, and all these people. The government of Mexico has always been corrupt, and is always going to be corrupt. That is how our government is. It's a disgusting government, and it's never going to be corrected because all the corruption that exists with human traffickers and a lot of money. That is why they started putting the 5% tariff. There's another reason why. And one of the things that Donald Trump said to everybody was, to our president, you better get your stuff together or I will raise that 5% with the human traffickings. I will raise that 5% with the human traffickings. Not only that, the government of Guatemala is not doing anything about it. We saw it. We went to Guatemala and we saw how these migrants think that they have the right, and they compare themselves with product. If the United States is bringing product to Guatemala, why can we not migrate to the United States? It's unbelievable. The illogical things, how they put their compare themselves to product. It's the fault of their own culture. It's the fault of their own government. It's the fault of their own leaders. This is situations like this that you acknowledge and you say, wow, these people need to go back. Why are you migrating? Yes, but they think in their country that they have the right. They think that their country that it's safe. They think that in their country it is, nobody's saying anything about it, and you hear quite a, couple experiences here and there that they're saying, oh yeah, he made it. Oh, okay, so he made it. That means that I can make it. But they don't realize all the dangers and all the things and all the organizations and all the cartels and all the activists of America and all these organizations from America that they're over here. They don't know that. They don't know nothing about that. Also, they don't know that Mexico is a poor country. That we are a poor country, that we have more than 60 million in poverty, more than 28 million in critical condition, more than 68 million without medical care. And they expect Mexico to take care of them in a really different way. That we have all possibilities of giving security, of giving schools, of giving housing, when it's impossible. This is what it's coming. This is the United Nations. This is the one world government. This is socialism. This is a disgusting movement that it doesn't care about lives. They only care about socialism. This is why the President of the United States is the only one that is standing against this disgusting stuff. The only one that is standing and is saying, stop human trafficking in Mexico, and is not stopping it. This is why. This is why. He's the only one. So if you're asking a question, return back home now. Yes, believe me, a lot of them are returning back home. Our job is to investigate. Our job is to interview. Our job is to find out what is going on with these situations. Not only to hear the immigrant, but to hear what is going on in our country and how they're operating and how they're working and how it is a cartel that is continuous and it is a thing that is not going to stop. Why? Because what they're doing is, I see a migrant, I will kidnap him, I will take money from him, and then I will release him at the border, taking advantage not only of his life, but of money, and releasing him at the border and telling him, go and don't speak, because if you come back, I'll kill you. That is what we need to find out. That is what I was talking to you guys about child trafficking. And you know, child trafficking, there's another thing that is really important right here and dangerous. Really important and dangerous. How they are recruiting migrants. How they are recruiting kids. How they are recruiting minors. These cartels are recruiting minors. So they can have the future of their cartel and they can continue to do delinquency, to do violence, to do kidnappings. Amazing. Amazing. So it's not only, yes, there is a problem migrating to Mexico. And there is a huge problem migrating to the United States. That is almost impossible to migrate to the United States. Facts, number one. Number one. Let's find out who's the number one accomplice. That we already know that is socialism. That we already know that is the New World Order. That we already know that is the corrupt government of Guatemala, of Salvador, of Honduras, that they're not telling their people, they're the irresponsible ones, that they're not telling their people to not migrate, to stay here, to correct your country. Number two, the one that is accepting them. Who is it? Mexico and their government. The one that is not doing anything about it. This has been going on for centuries, people. Human trafficking. A lot of you guys are now surprised about what is happening. This goes on every day. This is just one experience of one person. This goes on every day, at every hour. This is one experience of one person. This tells you how our country is. The facts that I told you. 4 cities on the top 5 for violence and delinquency. 5 in the top 10 and 15 on the top 50. Those are facts. Those are facts for everybody to see how our country is so corrupt and is full with organizations. A lot of people are saying, why the cartels don't do anything? Why they don't do anything? What do you think? They're getting money and they're distracting from the real drug trafficking. They're distracting an attention into human trafficking to drug trafficking. And they're using humans to traffic also. Do you think they're gonna stop them? Hell no. It's new cheap man labor. They're coming and it's for free. It is amazing, people. The experiences that is happening right here. This experience, this migrant started crying. It is unbelievable what these people go through. Unfreaking believable. And these organizations need to be addressed. Our government needs to do something. And our president is not doing anything about it. Our law sucks. Our law is horrible. You saw that? You cannot go to the police and put a police report of kidnapping if that kidnapping didn't took place in that state. Imagine that. So if I was kidnapped in Mexico and if I live in Tijuana, I cannot put a kidnapping report in Tijuana because I was kidnapped in Mexico. So I need to go back to Mexico to put a report of kidnapping in Mexico. So I need to go back to where I was kidnapped to put a report. Imagine how illogical is that. Imagine our laws, how stupid and illogical they are. Unfreaking believable. So, this was just, a report that I wanted to do with you guys. Child trafficking and kidnapping of migrants, and only kidnapping, not only of migrants, kidnapping of people. Kidnapping of people is continuing. It's continuing. And the only one that is pressuring to do things right, not only for his country, but for other countries, is the President of the United States. A lot of people are saying, why you admire the President of the United States? Because he's the one that is putting the example for all of across the world to stop all this. He's the only one. A lot of people, oh man, you're a sellout. You're kissing the American boots. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I admire the President of the United States because he's the only one that has this to go out on the record and quote unquote and say, we are going to stop human trafficking. And if you don't stop it, I will apply a 5%, a 10%, a 20% tariff. He's the only one. And that is my reason why I admire that man. So it was nice talking to you guys this morning. Sorry about my gimbal. Sorry if it is, moving like this. It's a little shaky. My gimbal is out of battery, I think so. So thank you so much for watching this interview. I believe that it was a good interview for everybody to know what is going on, and a couple of experiences of people that we have encountered. In this shelter, we have seen and we have talked to people that they have paid $8,800 to cross, $5,500 to cross, and they play them, and they just use them. They take away their money. They use them. They take them all the way to the border, and they say, run. He's gonna take you and he's gonna release you. Dad, you can do it on your own. But right now, what it looks like is this human trafficker organizations, they're not letting anybody migrate. So if you want to migrate, it's going to cost you kidnappings and money. And $20,000 that they were asking her. That's what she's saying. Give or take. Benefit of the doubt. Whatever is your opinion and whatever you're thinking, if you want to believe it or not, is on you. Not me, it's on you. I just bring, the report and the news. So thank you so much for everybody. If you want to consider helping me for my work, there's my PayPal right there. You can go to my page. Thank you so much for your support. God bless you. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Stay safe. And we will do a report a little bit later as we are going to do, an investigation on some other part of here at Tijuana. Thank you so much. Stay safe. And always remember, peace and love, everybody. And always, your country's first. Stay safe.